This is the whole point of that conduit thing we were working on, because this would be should make this very easy.
Right.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so when you talk, it doesn't blank out the screen. Okay, this is perfect. Okay, let me hit record on here. Let me show you what I did. Can you see my screen okay?
Yep.
So I have two tracks going. One is going to be the impulse we're working from. One's going to be the result. And I have them both feeding span so that we can see, for instance, I'm going to put, oh, this is going to suck. Hold on. Let me turn down the volume. I'm going to put pink noise in. And it should be pretty much the same thing here on both channels.
Okay.
So the green is the original one, red is the result. I don't know why it's different at all, but it's so close that I don't care.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. This is 2 tracks of Iconic on stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense because some of my stuff is like randomly generated each time.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I also have a drum track up that can kind of make the reverb stuff. Pulses real quick. Compare. Let's add this up. Let's do this guy. Okay. So if I make sure this is working, so I click that button, right?
Yep. Oh, I mean, if you want to, like, to make this a more streamlined thing, if you want to do the 480 again, and I can just talk you through what I did for that one.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to be. I had to listen to that one a bunch. I don't know how much time.
Yeah. Hold on. Sorry. 1 second.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Let me pull up the 480. Hopefully it's the same one here. Okay, so let me make sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yep.
So I'm gonna mute the result one. I'm gonna turn on this drums. Should just do snare. Let me. If I can just solo it on this one, but I still want the overhead stuff in, but
Right.
it doesn't matter that much. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, I don't know. Well, this is interesting. I figure I shouldn't really be seeing anything similar on the result one.
I'm sorry. Explain how these are routed again. I thought you were like doing some setup stuff at first, and then so I wasn't like fully.
So the way I think it's routed, this drum machine's going to both of these.
Okay.
So this one's got this is the one that's going to have the impulse on it.
Gotcha.
And then it's got span, and span is exporting the original to it.
Span is just a spectroscope, or Or
Yeah,
yeah, okay,
yeah, and in fact, we should be using ours, but Span lets you do this multi-track stuff
right,
and then the other ones could be playing the Iconic Reverb one.
right. So shouldn't it be different?
Yeah, it should be different, but it should be very different.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Um, Let me just make sure this is
I was
going
gonna
the
say,
way I
yeah,
think
just
it.
try it. Just like mute the output of that one and see if it even shows up on the other one. Like just drag the yeah. Yeah, there
Okay,
you
yeah,
go.
so that is working.
Yep.
So,
I mean,
but
it kind
man,
of makes sense because the it's catching the initial hit, which is going to be pretty similar, and then it's just the fall of the reverb that like the signal that's going to be different, and there's like some decay on the spectroscope that's going to, it has its own smoothing and stuff, so it's I feel like it makes sense that it would look pretty similar. Does that make sense?
it does. But I mean, it should be. I would think it'd be pretty different.
Right.
I know the snare is going to be the same, but um, and you know we're not listening to it 100% wet, and that's
Yeah,
another thing is the
which is the way that I do it when I'm matching stuff. I make sure that they're both totally wet.
okay. So let me do
Yeah.
that, and me- so the other thing was the IR volume was
Yeah.
a little bit. And so when you the way you made this, the dry wet control still works with the
Yep.
impulses, right?
Hmm.
Okay, it seemed to, but I wasn't 1,000% sure. So let me play. So let me play the impulse. Um, Pretty quiet now. Okay, and then here's the. So
Yeah.
that's what we got from Iconic right now.
Yep.
Okay, so in fact, let me do something to make this a little bit less annoying. Now I can just start and stop that. So I think. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so let's see. What do I do first here?
So the first thing that I was looking at was trying to get a sense of what the early reflections sound like and trying to match that sound. With the 480, I heard like a significant amount of like I don't know, it was like a brat in the beginning that was
Yeah,
actually
it's like
pretty long.
a little busted up delay, kind of.
Yeah. Um,
Let's see how can we that kind of grainy thing at the very beginning.
yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Um, so
Okay.
what I did for okay, so yeah, we're looking at the actual icon. Okay. So I turned the standard density down. Um, and then also I soloed the ER stuff right there. Yeah, the early reflections. If you could, yep, right there. And then I adjusted the size until because like if you play it now, um, it should sound pretty like splatty. Yeah. So I took the size and I tried to adjust that until it sounded like it matched a little bit the amount of that like kind of splattiness that I heard in the original one. Um, which to me sounded like around 120-ish milliseconds, I think, is what
Okay.
seemed to feel right.
So you can definitely hear discrete stuff, right?
Yeah, that's why I turned down the density so I can hear just exactly the yeah. And then I turn that up until it sounds a bit more like actual early reflections. Um, and then for the ER stuff, I'm sorry, for the iconic ER stuff, I started to mix that stuff in and just kind of blend it with the shape of the ER to until basically just until it sounded like good and as impactful as the actual stuff, because that's going to inform a lot of what goes into the late reflections.
Okay. So what do you recommend I do here?
I mean, it sounded because it's like a hall or whatever. Like it sounded like there was a good amount of like diffusion and stuff. So I actually changed the envelope to be uh, a bit wider, like in terms of the envelope at the top.
Oh,
Um,
oh.
I would take the curve of the second part and kind of make it. I would raise it, I guess.
So that it's a rounder decay, or
Yeah, so
am I
it
doing
sounds
wrong?
more of like a wash of sound a bit, rather than just the splattiness of the discrete delays that are happening from the standard type. Yeah, that kind of thing. Um, and then like when that starts to feel okay, you have to bring in the late reflections, and then from here on out, it's like oh wait, we haven't matched the time of the actual the delay time to or the reverb
Okay.
time rather to the other one. I think it was like 2.7 something or whatever.
Yeah. So that's the is
2.8
that
something.
so now is this the actual that's the actual IR length, right? So it could
Hmm.
be shorter than that.
Yeah, so that part you have to like listen to them back and forth and see when it actually decays. You could probably open it up in
Yeah.
a file and like look or whatever, but
Right. You could just drop it in there, right? Let's see. We'll start there around 2.6 ish or so. Let's see.
and then yeah, you're gonna have to unsolo the ERs are still soloed, so
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to tell
wait,
right
yeah,
now.
wait, what? Why is it? It sounds so stunted.
See what I'm doing
Oh,
wrong
you know
here.
the yeah, go ahead. Um, I mean that one. The only thing that really matters here is the dry wet mix because you're um, monitoring the impulse. So all these settings don't really matter for
Okay.
what
Oh,
this
I'm
one is
looking
putting
at the
out.
wrong one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. Let me look.
so this one you should be hearing a lot more decay. I mean, turn up the and can you check like the mid envelope? Okay, that might be too sharp for what the actual sound ends up being. I'm pretty sure I
Okay.
like turned those curves up quite a bit on the one that I made the preset. Yeah, so now we're hearing a lot more of the
And it should be all of these guys kind of rounder right now.
yeah.
So now it
Yeah, compared to
sounds
yeah.
crazy long, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's gonna have to be the high end is gonna have to be sharper.
Or I was thinking just turn down the reverb. So not turn down the reverb time.
Uh, I mean, I guess you could. When I was doing it, I found it like a decent match. But yeah, I mean, you have to go with
So
your ear. So
you mean go just go flatter on this thing, or actually bring the envelope and pull it back? And
no,
put a
actually,
point in
what
there.
I the so the other thing we're gonna have to do is touch the low pass envelopes to actually have the highs, decay over time. So that could also be contributing to the sounding very big the whole time. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, so you can hang on, let's see. Can I hear the original again?
Yep.
And can you make the loop like a little bit? Can you like lower the tempo a little bit or something?
Yeah. Let me get rid of other snare so I can just make this a lot longer.
Right. Okay. And then go back to the other one. Okay. I remember doing a thing because the low end was like coming in too hot that I added a node to the yeah the one that you're on right now,
Okay.
and had that fade in a little bit. So like adding a node at the top and then dragging the initial hit lower. But like it was like a really short thing. Yeah, the node was like pretty close to the start, something like that. How long is my? Okay. And then I also made the ER envelope more towards the middle to give it more of like a swell for the noise that it brings in. A bit further than that is what I ended up with, but yeah, like a little left. This is so funny to be just directing you this way, but yeah, yeah, something like that. And then it's also going to come down to like the EQs going in, like the ER EQ. I'm pretty sure I took out like a lot from the not a lot, but I'd take out low end and also boost high end to give it a kind of softer sound going in, because like the I don't know, around like 100 or 200 hertz, it's like a lot of punch.
Dude, you were adding it 100
I was
hertz?
taking out,
Okay.
and then adding some high end. This is also let's see. I think I have the density around the same spot. Oh, also I would turn down the ER mix level.
Over here?
Not that one.
Or you mean over here?
The actual level. No, no, no. Above that. No, it's on the ER side, but to the right, and then that one right there.
Oh, okay.
I turned that down a bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, if you want to compare again.
A little bit more smack.
Yep.
It's something really hard hitting about this the original one, right? Is that
Right.
just more dry mixed in, or is that just what we got to get to here?
Maybe because I didn't use a low pass on the input. I just used like the first. I'm sorry, a high pass rather. Yeah, I didn't have that. I just sort of. Yeah, no, I didn't at all. Yeah, I just used like the first filter and just like reduce it a little bit. But I mean, try hearing, listen to what it sounds like now. Maybe it sounds fine. Yeah, there's like the. I feel like that sounds better, but it's still just something really heavy in the beginning. But
That initial hardness too, like that.
yeah.
The smack of the stick, I'm not getting.
Oh, you can. So you can have it get more of the dry going into the like the LR input mix. You could make it more dry, which is what I ended up doing.
See if that's. Still not hitting hard. Like there's a I don't know if you hear this. Like
Yeah.
you definitely hear the stick there. And I don't know if that's because the impulse itself is partially wet,
Right.
or partially dry.
Yeah. Because it has to have the actual. Well, no, actually, no, it wouldn't have that.
Because if I start changing the balance here, it's starting to sound a lot more like it, right?
You're right. Yeah.
So maybe there is a dry component to that, which would be a bummer. But I could just make it. I can make it 100% wet later on. So.
Yeah, I mean that would be a limitation of taking the actual impulse versus this, which is.
Yeah, no, it's actually okay.
Yeah.
So the pitch seems higher on the original one.
Like the pitch of the snare going in, or like, how do you mean?
Okay, so like the
Oh yeah. So
tune of the whole thing.
so if you go into
not so much the tone, but the tune.
Yeah, try it again.
Or you think that that's just EQ?
So
Not
so if you go into in the EQ tab and then go to the iconic section of it with the little blue button at the bottom of it. Uh, yep, that one. This one affects the generated impulse, and this you can do a lot with that kind of stuff. So for mine, I ended up boosting the highs, which would make sense for what you're hearing, I would think. And I took like a little bit out of something that I thought was ringing too much.
this EQ is not going to show the impulse, right? Okay, so that's what shows the impulse? Nothing, right?
That should be the impulse. And then if you go to the C button, the compare button, if you click that, it should show you what the
Oh, okay.
what the
So that is the impulse. Okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm. I would
Okay. So
be wary of using that completely though, because it was very tough to get them to show stuff that's comparable because I had to do a lot of normalizing and stuff. So I would only use it as like a general vibe kind of thing, but not. I wouldn't like try and use that to match what you're hearing entirely, kind of thing. But yeah, so like I ended up boosting the highs in here, and then also removing something around like 150 or something. But again, like your ears would be probably better at spotting where it is exactly.
oh, I'm actually higher now.
Yep.
Okay, it's just a slight bit smoother on the other one. Hold on, let me see if my wait. What EQ was I doing? That was the tail. That's why. Okay, get rid of that. Hold on. Oh, maybe that was actually doing let me play them both real quick. It is just I don't know if I boost this more or do it
Hmm.
someplace else.
I think also the cut is a little bit much in the bottom, but maybe not actually. I don't know.
That's not where I need to look.
Hmm.
To match these levels a little bit better.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely I
Yes.
think too much of a cut in the low end on the on that one. What were you gonna say?
I think the
Like in the iconic, yeah, that maybe. But I don't know.
envelope's too short on this one too now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was like it's supposed to be like 2 point, almost 2.8. Um,
but I think it might be decaying too fast.
Hmm.
Yeah, like the
Oh
shape.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so you can make the curves. Um, you can move them up or increase the reverb time.
yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I think it's just. Yeah, not that much. I mean, now it's starting to act pretty close. Let me
Oh yeah.
let me play this whole drum here. Some other frequencies in here. It occurs to me if I just wanted snare, I could have just used the audition thing inside the plugin itself.
But
Okay, so still, I got to get that tone. That's like the
right.
pitch is higher.
Yeah, I feel like with that, it's a lot of the iconic ER and iconic EQ and the tail EQ.
I'm actually somewhat happy with that. Actually, there's still a pitch. It's weird. It's really just taking this away. That and then now, envelope is too. Get a little bit. Yeah. It's just there's some. I actually like this better right now because
Right. Okay.
it's actually hitting harder, but I'm trying to match that.
Yeah, the
Um,
thing, a lot of that came down to for me fiddling with um, the ER EQ for everything that's going in, and then the iconic EQ also. If you're talking about like the initial like impact stuff, which is what
yeah.
sounds different here, um, but
All
yeah,
right,
I mean it's kind of yep, good.
let me pull up one that I think is going to be quite a bit trickier. Give me 1 second. I got to see what's going on over here. Hold on.
Yep.
One.
I don't know if you can hear me. I'll message you, but I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Where are you doing that?
See. All right. Still there? All right, can you hear me, Dave? Well, I guess we should have a separate IR path for bringing in impulses. This one's going to be tricky. You can make these. Okay, Dave, can you hear me? Check, 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 check. Yep, I'm on. Dave to get back. Oh, okay. Okay, Dave will be back in a second. So, what I really wanted here was why is that showing? Okay, hold on. I don't know why in the world. I'm getting something pretty crazy here. Um, showing that. You back?
Yep.
Okay. So
What
okay.
happened?
So
Yep.
I'm gonna do. So here's one of the gated ones. So let me pull out. Let me just make the snare here again. Uh, that's a lot shorter. And I know it sounds completely weird by itself, but if I mix in the dry,
Yeah, yeah.
this one sounds like 100% wet, really. Okay, so how in the world do I do this one? So this is I can start. Um,
What was the time on the other one?
it's like 0.86 milliseconds.
Okay.
I think I should reset this whole thing somehow.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I don't know if there's a way to. Yeah.
let's see if the reset to factory default
Oh,
works.
nice. There you go. Perfect. Thanks, Reaper.
Yeah. So look around the same time. Okay, well, that sounds totally different.
Well, I mean, you want to like change the envelope for this because it's so like gated thing. You're gonna want to move the amplitude nodes like up a bunch.
It's weird how
Not
stops.
the curve, the actual nodes themselves, because you want like a.
Oh, you mean for stopping it, right? But the
Yeah,
funny
but
thing is,
move it like I meant like up in amplitude, like bring it to the top and then have a sharp cutoff or whatever. Yeah, something like that.
like
And
that.
then I mean,
Now,
go ahead. Good.
So this is where I really get confused, because a normal reverb would actually look like one of these ski slopes, right?
Right.
Whereas this weird like hold effect would be bonkers, right?
But I mean, it's a gated reverb, isn't it? So it's like supposed to have high. It's
Well,
like
like a
a long
gated,
decay that gets cut off at a certain point.
like this
Uh,
is how I would see a normal gated reverb, would be
right.
something like this. It's got its regular curve coming down,
Yeah. So
and then
yeah,
it's
that works
gone.
too. Yeah.
But see, it still seems very short. You
So
hear the
like
difference there?
yeah, you can also just move that part. Like have the node. Actually, you could even get rid of these two and maybe just see about changing the last one. Um, if you double click, it'll get rid of them. And then just move that last one up and do the that slight decay thing, that something like that, and see if how that sounds. There's also only one band right now, so you'd have to do it for like all of them.
It seems like I want to draw the 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 actual drop, right? So yeah, it
Yeah, you
probably
could.
end
Yeah.
up making the reverb much longer than it
Yep.
really is, and
You could do that too.
then is there a way to read time along here?
Uh, I I think it might have. I guess I went with
It,
just showing what your node is at, but if you have a node when you're dragging it, it should show you where that one is.
okay.
But
Well,
yeah, it
let's
doesn't tell
see.
you time along it.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Okay, so if I did make it too long, I'd be able to
Right,
tell it. Yeah, so why don't I do? I'm going to make that a second. You know, the funny thing about gated reverb anyway is that it really should be it's probably going to be a long reverb, and but it's gonna end early.
right.
So
Yeah,
let
yeah.
me do that. So that's going to be somewhere around here. Probably not the idealist curve, but just
Yeah,
going
but yeah,
straight down sounds pretty weird.
yeah.
So I'm sure I'll change this
Yeah, yeah,
craziness
yeah.
later, but getting too much attack.
Yeah.
That be so if I got rid of the ER all the way, no, it's still just as bad.
I was gonna
Okay,
say lower the ER level and then and only have the yeah, and then yeah, mix it in this. Yeah,
I may not need it at all, honestly,
yeah,
but
yeah. It's like
this one is
so
a
bright. You
yeah.
know.
This is a weird one. So this
Yeah.
one is the one that everybody used to use for really putting traps on snares, especially if you only mic the top
Right.
snare instead of the bottom.
Yeah. So I would probably just end up doing some really harsh EQing in the at the different stages, like the iconic stage and also the tail. Even the tail might even be enough to just because it sounds like it has like no body or anything at all.
Look at
Yeah, yeah. That's really
so
funny.
weird that the okay, so this is
Yeah, so I'd probably just hit it with the tail reverb and just cut a ton, like a shelf at the bottom.
there is something here,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah. So if I were trying to match that curve, um, but you know what, we might need more feedback here to tell you that you're on the tail leak, or it says it right there.
It
Okay,
says it
never
there.
mind.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we
Okay,
could
no,
work on
that's
how
fine.
well that's communicated, but yeah, I think you're on the other node right now. It shouldn't be showing. Yeah, it should be showing you the octave.
80s digital filter, so it's going to be pretty ridiculously harsh. Let's see.
Hmm.
And also a shelf. Wow. Okay, hold on. High pass and shelf. Chunk out of the middle. Wow. Okay. It's looking similar-ish.
Yep. Oh, it sounds too long now.
Sounds weird. Still sounds so much attack. Where's that attack?
Yeah, I would take out the ER level because that gets mixed in after everything. Yeah. It also just seems too long. Like I think for the low end and the mid, if you could bring the fade out nodes closer to the 8.8 second or whatever thing it is. Yeah, like that is probably too. You're probably hearing a lot more. No. So like I would add a node between this one and the end one, and then
Here?
yes, and then just make the mute happen like a bit earlier. Like I would put it all the way down, but I would just move it closer than the end because right now we have like a 2.5 second one. And I think it was only like 0.8 seconds or
Yeah, I
something.
mean,
So there's a
but
lot of
if I
leeway to.
look here, it's like 900 milliseconds.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and then that one you could bring that other node. Yeah, or there. Yeah, something like that. Try hearing that. It still sounds like too much of a fade out or whatever. Like it's lingering too long.
yeah,
I think right. Yeah, let's see.
I think the
Yeah,
shape too.
yeah,
Yeah, it does sound very long, but it also
yeah.
interesting. Hold on. Um, there's a lot of, if I look on here, there's a lot of
So much high end in there.
energy at the highs.
Yeah.
And not, I've still got too much lows. Let me,
So that's not taking into account the tail EQ. That display is only showing you what the impulse is, and I don't really have a way to show you what the tail EQ is going to look like. So you don't have all that low information in the actual signal because you have the high pass on the tail and everything. This is just showing you what the iconic IR that tail IR that's generated looks like.
let me try.
If that
I'm
makes
gonna make
sense.
more of a regular decay on the reverb,
Yeah,
and then
I feel like the
there's
movement to zero just has to be a lot faster. Also, yeah, something like that.
you think that,
I think that's
what is
adding
that?
to.
That's 200 milliseconds is gonna do.
I mean, because I'm
Yeah.
hearing it fade out too much. I feel like, and that's not, you know, yeah, that I hear so much of a fade out on the end of it. I don't know. I don't know if that's the high end or what.
There's also kind of a ramp up. It seems like. Um, so almost like
Oh
I
yeah,
want
I
to
could hear that.
make
I could hear that. Yeah.
I want to make my own ER instead.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's the ER envelope that you can do. So you can have the entire signal fade in coming into it into the tail reflections or whatever. Um, like if you go to the ER envelope and then just drag the node more towards the center, um, and then if you have more of the LR input mix to be the ER, you'll get more of that. No, the other way. Yeah. And then I would also make the for the ER mix, I would make it more of the iconic ERs than the actual. I don't really hear that many like slappy early reflections. I don't think.
Yeah, why is this so quiet compared to the other one? Let me just turn that up for now. It's still the wrong envelope, man.
Hmm.
This is okay. What am I? Karen. Let me make this shorter still. Man, the fade out is it's something. It might be. It's weird because it sounds hard at first.
Mhm.
Something really spitty in that EQ. I'm just gonna put a. So I just want to hear if I can hear some kind of boost that.
Yep.
See, that brings in that weird noise. Let me turn on the bright. Oh. Yeah. See, something. There's some kind of comb delay or something that's sounding weird. Hold on. If I turn this treble up,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know that I hear it in the. Is that like a denser ER or something
On the Impulse or this one or the
on
Iconic,
the
I think.
on the impulse?
Hmm. Um, I have to listen again for what you're trying to hear in the ER.
Oops.
Hmm. You could take the ER envelope and maybe turn the curve up on the second part of it. Yeah, something like that to give it a little more.
Yeah, actually, okay. So that it's funny because I keep thinking that it's got a really long hold, but it kind of doesn't.
Hmm.
Um, this is way shorter now. Um, yeah, what am I looking at? Okay, so less at 2K, but more way up high. Okay. Right
There's
algorithm
so
is
much.
more like it.
Oh, yeah. All right.
And then there's something hitting hard at the bottom. What is this? This is the iconic. Okay. The tail. See, it looks right, but it sure doesn't sound.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
see
mean, yeah,
now
it's yeah. I was gonna say it's a lot there at the.
closer.
Yeah.
See, it's bringing in that weird. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a low mid kind of weird sound.
Hmm.
Try highs in the ER.
He's getting closer.
Yeah, the envelope is just different. Like what is making that envelope?
I was listening to the beginning and not the. I wasn't paying attention to the tail there.
This EQ's getting close. Okay, what am I doing wrong now? Okay, hold on. Oh, that's so close. Okay. Shoot. Oh, I'm missing. So the other thing that's bugging me is the little fluty sound that's on the bottom. I just gotta. I missed it a tiny bit. Where did I put it? Hold on. I moved it into the wrong place. Where did I put? What is this? What does this say? And I need that message to go out of the way. Okay. And then there's like a 220 or something. Where is it? A little fluty sound. Man, that's so close. Okay, let me try it with the drums now. Hearing drums. Oh, I'm hearing drums. What am I talking about? I gotta put some dry into it. Well, I think I have to take the this out. It still seems like it's swelling up, but
Right.
maybe not that long. If I have that mix the same, but oh no, I don't. Okay. I mean, it sounds a little bit different, but I'm pretty close. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna try and work on this by myself and see what I can get. I'm gonna go grab a whole bunch of other impulses and really try and dial this
Okay.
in. But
Cool.
I hope I hope I'm close, but we'll see. I think this is helping. But
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you're able to get in the zone of it, you know, now, and then beyond that, it's like very tweaky things. If you want it to sound exactly like something else, or just, I mean, you said before the other one that you made, the Hall, that you were liking it better.
yeah.
So
So
we don't have to make exact copies of things. If you just know better how to get a sound that you want, then that's probably all
yeah.
that needs to be done. And then you just make a bunch of presets that sound good. So
All right, let me work on this. Hopefully, I can actually figure this out.
okay, yeah, let me know. Yeah, hopefully some of that sticks with you. But
All
I can
right.
do this again, if you want to, for something, if. So
Okay.
just let me know. All right.
All right. Cool. Thank you.